Bitcoin could hit $69,000 by mid-2024 as it enters acceleration phase, analyst says. Bitcoin prices have doubled this year amid a spot ETF push by prominent traditional finance firms. Bitcoin prices could regain their lifetime peak price over $69,000 by mid-2024 as they undergo an acceleration phase marked by volatility and a sharp rally, some traders expect. That is an 88% gain from the current prices of $36,500. Of course, today we're over that $37,000 mark on Bitcoin. Quote, Bitcoin uptrends tend to move quickly once they get going, moving hundreds of percent often in less than a year, end quote, shared Corey Mitchell, an analyst with trading.biz, in a Friday note to CoinDesk. This is called the acceleration phase. Now, of course, when we're talking about this phase in particular, it's fully expected for us to start to see it after the halving, and the halving is going to be happening in April of 2024 or so. Usually that acceleration phase in the past has been the 6 months after, of course, the halving, not before that, but we're starting to see a little bit of a different type of interaction due to the ETFs, due to higher retail visibility on the prices of Bitcoin, etc. And so if you want to understand the halving cycle and how that impacts the price of Bitcoin, I go into more detail in my crypto mining e-course at sonofitech.com. If you want to check that out, you can. But let's go ahead and pop more back into this. According to Mitchell, really big gains happen a year and a half after the bottom, meaning near 90-degree price surge could resume sometime around mid-2024. The cryptocurrency bottomed out in November of last year. Quote, in 2013, Bitcoin rallied 1,200% in approximately 100 days. In 2017, it rallied 1,900% in just under a year. In late 2020, it rallied 400% in about 140 days, end quote, Mitchell said, warning of several pullbacks and price dumps on the way to retake of highs. Of course, these pullbacks should be completely expected over the next few months, especially. Once we get to the point to where the price to mint a Bitcoin is actually increased by, of course, the halving in April, that I think before that, you're going to see more pullbacks and so on before that kind of comes into fruition. That being said, for miners to really be profitable across the board, meaning current miners that are out there based on average electricity costs, it will need to hit, last time I calculated, between 45,000 and 50,000 US dollars by April. Do we get there? I would assume so at some point. However, how is that impacting, how high we can go in the future and so on, and what they're talking about here specifically, because this is kind of going off of these ranges based on the actual time as opposed to the actual halvings of Bitcoin. So it's analyzing it from a slightly different perspective, even though they are correlated. Today's sponsor is BT Miners. BT Miners has been a longtime sponsor of the channel and a proven reliable source for ASIC miners. If you are looking to purchase ASICs hardware from Bitcoin to Dogecoin miners, they are available for purchase on bt-miners.com. BT Miners has recently launched an app on iOS and Android that lets you browse their inventory by profitability and return on investment. Follow the affiliate link in the description and use promo code SOAT for a discount. Over the past year, the world's largest asset by market capitalization has seemingly shaken fears stemming from multiple bankruptcies of prominent players in the industry and a generally bearish economic environment by gaining almost 116%. Recent bullish sentiment has been largely buoyed by spot Bitcoin exchange traded fund filings in the US, bumping expectations that regulated offerings could open the gates to widespread institutional demand. Demand and usage for regulated instruments have grown in tandem with prices. On Thursday, Bitcoin futures traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the CME for short, registered the highest volumes worldwide, toppling those of industry leader Binance. Open interest, or the amount of unsettled futures, stood at roughly 4.07 billion US dollars, up some 4% in the past 24 hours and representing a 24.7% market share. In contrast, open interest on Binance stood at 3.8 billion US dollars, down 7.8% during the same period. Market observers told CoinDesk they considered the rise as indicative of institutional demand for Bitcoin products. Now, of course, this is something that I would ask you guys out there. We've been in cryptocurrency for a long time, and the entire idea of institutional money coming into Bitcoin is kind of a step on the ladder to the end goal, which is, of course, removing the need for any of these institutional instruments for me to be able to transact peer-to-peer with an individual and not have these interferences. So are these interferences from institutional demand a positive or a negative from your point of view? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, as well as the live chat. I'm definitely pretty mixed on it. If I do take a look at Bitcoin as being the Trojan horse as advertised, then the idea would be as more institutional money comes into Bitcoin in general, then of course that boosts up the price of Bitcoin for everybody that has been in the past. But if we're supposed to have a new currency that provides a solution for all individuals, even those that have not in the past invested in Bitcoin at a lower economic level, do they get impacted negatively by this? And this is something that kind of runs around in my head over and over and over again. So maybe a little bit of clarification or insight from you guys in the comments and live chat would be appreciated, so I could maybe form a better, more thorough opinion on that. Thanks for watching this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here, and don't forget to subscribe down here as well. You can also check out my crypto mining e-course at sonofatech.com, where you can get a free month of supporter status with a purchase at sonofatech.locals.com. Also, don't forget to check out my merch underneath the video or at shop.sonofatech.com. I'll see you next Tuesday.